Evening.
Hello.
Welcome to this week's YouTube. We're going to do a lovely little chit chat catch up. That's nice, isn't it?
Very much so.
I got myself hot chocolate. This is one of the Hotel Chocolat ones, by the way.
Yeah, no, they're not for me then.
Really? Oh, I thought you were going to be jealous then.
Oh.
Why not? Do you want to try it?
No.
You don't even want to try it?
No.
Blows my mind. This is the white chocolate one.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
Just
I thought I had it.
makes me think sick.
It's too sickly.
I don't really drink any hot chocolate though, do I? When was the last time I ever drank hot chocolate?
No, I know, but you love chocolate. So it just surprises me that you don't like it hot and wet.
I only like eating it, not drinking it. It's just wasted calories with drinking it, innit?
Welcome back to the channel. If you are sick of like wedding stuff, I'm sorry, but I'm also not sorry. Because once we've like done and dusted with the wedding, like we'll never speak about it again. So I'm just like making the most of it. And loads of people have like asked a few questions. Some people have actually said, can you do one of these Q&As? So we're just doing it, okay?
You don't do it every day.
You don't get married every day, do you? Exactly, yeah. Can't wait to see the video.
I'm more intrigued on the just the pictures, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't really thought about the video.
Really?
I don't really care about the video.
No, because I feel like you'll get like emotion from the video. You'll get like everyone's reactions and stuff like that, which is cute.
Maybe, yeah.
And there'll be parts of the video as well that like we wouldn't have seen throughout the day.
I guess.
Yeah. So I asked Instagram the other day if they got any questions. So we've got some questions here. Question 1. Were you late to your big day? As they do say it's normal for us women to be late for our big day. Do you know what? The funny thing is, we stayed at the venue that we were getting married at. So I didn't travel to the venue. Like I was literally upstairs, right? There was no reason for me to be late, and it was the most chilled morning I've ever had in my entire life until about an hour before the wedding. And then all of a sudden, I just felt this like panic because everybody else was ready other than me. And I was a bit like, obviously like my hair and makeup were like 99% there, but I was like, I'm not even in my dress yet. And there was, you know, things to do and you had to go and see the registrar and stuff. So I did have a little bit of panic set in. And then, like, towards the end, I was 10 minutes late, 10, 15 minutes late. But I don't...
Were you?
Yeah.
Don't really matter. You're the one who's getting married.
No, I know, but the registrars, like, have to go off to another wedding sometimes. And, like, if you're really late, that's... you.
Well, what was you late for?
I don't know.
How could you possibly have been late when
then
you had to go to the two people?
Yeah, but I was late to them.
Yeah, but how? Why?
Because once I was like in my dress and everything and like fully ready, then I had to do like photos and everything. But it didn't matter. I don't think anyone noticed. But that's the truth. You were ready, weren't you?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not really sure. I can't really remember, to be honest.
You probably didn't look at the time all morning.
The only thing that I thought I was got ever so panicked a little bit was when I didn't know if I was going to be able to print my wedding speech. I mean, it wasn't going to panic me. It wasn't going to panic me at all, because then I would have just read it off my phone. But I couldn't really be bothered having other people say anything about it. So that's the only reason why I was panicked. I was like, I can't be bothered having a day full of people going, "Oh,
read your speech off your phone."
Yeah, I know.
Did Iain cry as you walked down the aisle?
No.
You did?
No, I didn't.
I cannot wait to see the videography now.
No, that's fine. I mean, there's a difference between crying and welling up.
Yeah, but there were like tears in your eyes. I'm not saying you were sobbing, but I got you.
Yeah, there were tears in my eyes. I'm not denying that. But I didn't cry.
So there were tears in his eyes, but he sucked them back in.
But the tear would have to roll down your cheek for you to cry.
Specifics.
No, I welled up. I did. Ottie came down. Goldie came down. And then Chelsea came down. And then I just looked at the roof.
I had like my eyes glued to Iain. I saw Iain before Iain saw me, if that makes sense. And my eyes were like glued because I wanted to see his reaction. And like as he saw me, and like within a millisecond, he went, and looked up at the ceiling because obviously like he was emotional, and I just turned to my dad and I was like, I got him. Or I said something like that to my dad. I was like, yes, because that's the reaction that I wanted. I wanted you to just be.
I'm surprised I give a reaction.
Yeah, you really did.
My face doesn't.
Yeah. I really hope that was captured as well.
Doesn't change whatsoever.
Like,
so depending on whatever mood I'm in.
Yeah, and we both got really emotional throughout the ceremony.
Did we?
We were holding each other's hands and like looking into each other's eyes, and like at certain points we were both setting each other off.
Yeah, I had to stop. Not stop. Sorry, just take a second. When you're reading the vows, you're reading them, and then you have to go, oh shit, I need to stop right now.
Like, we did our own vows.
And it was because it's whenever I look at somebody.
Yeah.
So I just didn't look at anybody. I just read like that. And it was the same with the speech.
The vows were lush though. And the speech. The speech was very good, guys. I feel like it's quite an emotional day.
Yeah.
Christ, I get blood out of a stone of my husband. I've got a question here. Make me feel better. Did you stick to your budget?
I'll be honest, I actually don't know.
You ain't got a clue.
I don't have a clue.
You haven't got a clue about how much anything costs you?
No. I really don't.
Obviously, initially, we kind of had a budget because we knew how much money we were getting off both of our parents.
But actually...
They both...
Sorry.
No, go on.
Knowing Chelsea, the answer's no.
Let me finish and explain. So, yeah, knowing how much money we were getting from both our sets of parents, which couldn't be more grateful for, the wedding could not have happened if we didn't get that. We were engaged for like 18 months, so within that 18 months, we saved like absolute Trojans, didn't we? So as we went on, the budget was kind of going up because we were able to save as we went, if that makes sense. So at the start, obviously it was like, right, what are the non-negotiables? What are the priorities that we have to have? Like, obviously, like venue and stuff like that. Made sure all that was covered and paid for. And then all the extras I kind of got as I went, if I could afford them, if that makes sense.
You got some good deals.
Yeah.
You saved... You may have spent more in other areas, but you saved a hell of a lot in many areas as well.
Yeah, and again, I think you have to write out what your non-negotiables are. So like at the start, I knew that I really wanted a live band. Like that was a massive thing for me.
And saxophone.
And so I wanted a 6-piece band, including a sax, and I wanted a sax player during the day as well, during one of our drinks receptions. So the band and the sax during the day cost $2,300, I think it was. I mean, some people would say that's not a lot of money. Like, you can pay a lot more, and you can obviously pay less.
I feel like it was quite cheap.
I feel like it was
very well priced.
Every penny, genuinely. But then that's because I wanted that. Some people would be like, Christ, I wouldn't pay that. I'll just put Spotify on. So it depends what you want. But for me, like, the live music was just everything. So, yeah, so obviously that just depends on personal preferences, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I think the wedding cost, I haven't done final total like to the penny because it just got to a point where I paid off all the balances. There were last minute little bits and bobs. So, but roughly it was about £28,000.
That's less than I thought. I thought it was like just over 30.
Oh really? No, I think it was 28.
That's not too bad.
Oh, sorry, and that is actually including our honeymoon. That is including the
honeymoon. Oh, right,
wedding.
okay, well, it was well cheap then. I don't even know how we're having this discussion. The wedding was well cheap.
Oh, it's a lot of money though, Ian.
Yeah, but it's well cheap.
Especially, it's a lot of money though.
Including the honeymoon?
Sorry, that's including the honeymoon, and the honeymoon was just over $5,000.
Yeah,
so essentially the wedding was at 23.
Money, but that's quite a reasonably priced wedding, considering.
Again, this is the thing.
I know some people who have spent.
You can spend
well more than that.
You can spend hundreds of thousands on a wedding, and you can spend like hundreds. So again, it depends of the style wedding you want. It's a weird one because in my head I'm like, that's a disgusting amount of money for like one day and one holiday. But it isn't one day and one holiday, it's your wedding and your honeymoon. And for me, maybe it's like my age as well. Like I'm 33. Obviously, I only plan on doing this once. So I'm really pleased. So I don't regret spending that money at all. Like I said, we got help from our parents. Also, we got like wedding gift money. And also, like your nan helped. And there was a couple of like...
Yeah, we've had many.
We've had help. But I think we ended up saving and adding 12 grand to it. Which I think is pretty good in 18 months during like a pregnancy. Oh, Tesco deliveries here. BRB. Sorry guys, the food shop's now been put away. What was I saying? I think we didn't do bad saving 12 grand considering it was pregnancy then maternity leave. So on like maternity pay, and then we moved house, obviously had a kid. I mean, we have been living like peasants, but and now we still are because we've got no money again. But we can afford a food shop, so one has to be grateful. So essentially, we did stick within a budget because we didn't end up with loads of debt. But the budget got kind of like lifted as we went. So just try and stay within your means if you can, and at the start, put down your priorities and your non-negotiables. One thing you think that every wedding should have: a live saxophonist. No, that's just a personal preference.
I mean, everybody's different. Everyone has a different taste. I think the most important part of the day in the wedding is the moment that you're actually standing at the end of the aisle.
Yeah, I loved the ceremony.
So I think the room that you have needs to be exactly what you wanted and what you loved. Like,
so you feel that magic.
Yeah, we only wanted something small, and
intimate.
Very intimate.
Yeah.
And it was and the room was small and intimate.
Very.
So
it was cozy.
It was perfect for what we wanted. So yeah, I would say the actual bit where you say I do.
And then a little bit random, we had an audio guest phone. So rather than a guest book that everyone writes in, which I just think is such a chore for everyone, isn't it? I can't stand writing in those things, if I'm completely honest.
Everyone writes the same thing.
Yeah, I always just check what other people have written and then I write down something same but different. Whereas we had a phone, so they picked up the phone and the message was from us, like, leave a message for Mr. and Mrs. George, beep! And then they left us a message. But yeah, I just think that's like a cool and quirky thing to do, and then you've forever got these messages from loved ones. Planning for 3 years' time, any advice on hidden costs? That's quite good, having like 3 years to plan. Although that must be so hard, because I remember when I was planning, there were so many like ups and downs, as in, I'd get addicted and like spend a couple of weeks doing loads, and then you just don't do anything for ages, and then you feel like you're behind, but you're not, because you are actually more organised than you think you are, but you haven't touched anything for a while. And then it's like that. So for 3 years, quite I'd do my head in, because I'd get my teeth stuck into it and then I wouldn't do anything for ages. But
sure, your taste might change over those.
Yeah, that's true as well. Oof.
Wouldn't for a guy, but for a girl, I can see that her taste changing multiple times.
God, yeah. I think that's why we went for black and white. Off topic slightly, but we went for black and white wedding, which I just personally think, I mean, again, personal preference.
Well, black's my favourite colour.
But I also think it's timeless. It's not trendy. I mean, it kind of is at the moment, but I don't think you'd ever look back on a black and white wedding and be like, oh, that's really dated now.
Probably not now.
But then I don't know. It's like my wedding dress. Like, obviously, I absolutely loved my wedding dress. But in like 20, 30 years' time, is Goldie going to look back at my wedding dress and be like, oh, Mum, that's an awful dress?
Probably.
Because no offence, I look back at my mum's and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, but that was awful.
Wow. Yeah, but that's because times change. And so do fashions and stuff. And my mum, this is the weirdest thing ever, fun fact, my mum and Ian's mum wore exactly the same wedding dress. Obviously, didn't want to know. How weird is that? So that was obviously very much in fashion at the time. I just feel like, how can my dress ever be like...
I haven't seen many dresses like yours though.
Really?
From all the people you see getting married, they're all...
So simple though. I feel like, I mean, obviously
I think that's
it
what
was perfect for me, but
we both like, though, don't we?
yeah. Anyway, so that's why I went for a black and white simple wedding. Not that anyone asked. The question was, any advice on hidden costs? We were really lucky. All of our suppliers were unreal. I feel like I've made friends with all of my suppliers. I mean, 2 of them were family anyway. And I feel like I got to know them on a personal level. And they were so like upfront and honest with like quotes and everything. Just make sure all your quotes are like fully legit. There's no like extra hidden costs. Like I've heard horror stories where like hair and makeup charge last minute for like their travel costs.
Oh wow.
But they weren't like warned about that previously. That did not happen to us at all, but I've heard horror stories like that. So just make sure that your communication with your suppliers is like solid. Just make sure you know exactly what you're quoted for and when you have to pay it if it's all like broken down.
And don't rush into anything.
Yeah, especially if you've got that amount of time. Like, get a few quotes. We got multiple quotes from some suppliers. And make sure you go to like wedding fairs as well. And we went to one, didn't we?
Yeah, but also take time to get to know the person as well. So when you're having conversations with people, get to know them as people.
It's such like a personal thing. Obviously, your wedding. So then I feel like as well, your suppliers like are excited to like be a part of your day as well. I was really quite on top of it all, to be honest. But last minute costs are only like things that I wanted to add in last minute. So all the bridesmaids, groomsmen gifts, etc. Not that they were last minute, but I kept like adding little things into them, especially the girls, because I'm like, oh, but that's really cute. I got Goldie a little sign to carry down the aisle. Not that she carried it in the end, but the girls were holding it, saying, "Daddy, it's time to give mummy our last name." Cute as hell, but that sign was 20 quid off Etsy. But in my head I was like, well, I can resell all these things. So I wanted it and I've got it, you know. And do you know what the hidden costs are? All the things that you want to get for yourself. Like if you want to get yourself some like nice pyjamas, or I obviously got like a bride jumper that turned into a wifey jumper. But that's just me. You don't have to get those things. But I'm like, you only get married once, do you know what I mean? I had bride socks and I had wifey socks. Goldie had a flower girl outfit. And I tell you what's expensive, and put your money aside for this because this is a last minute thing. All your appointments, which you obviously go on literally the week before. So when you get your nails done, when you get your lashes and your brows and all that kind of stuff, that was an expensive week. Yeah, I think that covers it. Did you wear any special perfume for your wedding day? That's a lovely question. And actually, I did, and it was extra special because my something borrowed, you know, you have like something new, something blue, something old, something borrowed. I've done that in a completely wrong order. Anyway, you know what I'm getting at? I only wear perfume on like special occasions, right? So it is quite like a special thing for me. But I didn't want to pay a lot of money for a brand new perfume.
And only wear it a few times.
Well, I mean, I know it would have been like the wedding perfume. Anyway, long story short, my mum's got a really nice perfume that I really like. It's a Jo Malone one. So what I did was, as my something borrowed, I borrowed mum's perfume for the day, which was quite cute. Quite liked that. And then my something new, mum got me pearl earrings, which I wore on the day. Don't know if you noticed them.
We've had this discussion, yes.
Have we? What do they look like?
Pearl earrings.
Yeah? Anything else about them? No, not a clue. And my something blue.
No, they were studs, weren't they? Not studs, but they weren't dangly ones.
They were.
Were they? Yeah, I can't remember them.
Oh, this is a good question. What was it like having Goldie at your wedding? Where did she go when you were at the party?
As in the party after the wedding?
Yeah, the wedding party. What was it like having Goldie at the wedding?
Great. Really great. Having your daughter there, see you get married. She doesn't have a clue what's going on. But
Literally didn't have a clue, mate.
But it doesn't matter because we will always remember it.
We feel.
The only thing
she was quite noisy in the ceremony.
Yeah, she was quite noisy in the ceremony.
Like everyone was trying to distract her with toys.
Yeah. But
she wasn't like, it wasn't a problem. It didn't stop anything.
No.
But I do
watched it.
feel like at that point, like the girls couldn't enjoy the ceremony. Like they probably didn't listen to a word of the vows, probably.
Maybe not.
But it's one of those things, isn't it?
But she was great during the speeches. Me and Chelsea sat on a top table of just two, and she just sat in the middle of us.
It's just the three of us on this table.
Yeah, and she just sat there.
She was, and we were there for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, the speeches weren't 3 hours, but as in like all the food. We did the speeches first, and then we did all the 3 courses. That's another question actually about the food in a minute. But she was so good, and do you know what? There's like I've shared the photo because it's so funny. But there was this moment where like the speeches were going on, and like you just looked over at Goldie, and she.
I think it was when I was stood up.
Was it your speech?
I think so. I think I was stood up.
She literally was just demolishing this bread roll. She just had this bread roll. I think she had like one in each hand actually, and she was just like absolutely demolishing it, like she was drunk on bread. It was just such a vibe, so that was great.
The only thing that we both have agreed, well, both said that we wish we changed a little bit was bringing the nanny a little bit earlier. So
we hadn't even got to that part, but we got a wedding nanny, which is a lovely, lovely lady that I know from. She used to come to my classes, and she works in a nursery, so I know her, and she's qualified, and she's just lovely. Anyway, she came at 6 o'clock, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she came at 6. And she kind of like mingled in our like drinks reception and just like obviously was looking out for Goldie, but at this point she was still kind of with family a little bit as well and just like dancing around. And then obviously she started to get tired, and I really wanted to keep her awake for the first dance because I just wanted a little boogie with her, and we managed it. She was absolutely fine. So basically we did the cake cutting, moved everyone through, we did our first dance, we got a little boogie with Goldie, everyone got up on the dance floor with the live band, and then like this was, it's not a shame at all because we're parents and we've got a child, but this was the only thing throughout the day that I was like didn't want to go. So we were obviously dancing, and then after that first dance song I was like, right, she needs to go to bed big time, so I had to leave the band, and I was so looking forward to the band. I was
go feed her.
I had to, so I then went up with the wedding nanny. I think some of the girls came up as well. I fed Goldie, we put Goldie to bed, and obviously the wedding nanny stayed up in the room because our venue was also a hotel. So the wedding nanny stayed in our suite. I then got changed into like my second outfit, and then finally came down. And when I came back down, the band had finished their first set.
Yeah.
And I was like, no! They did 3 sets. They were epic. So it was absolutely fine. But I was like so ready to boogie. There was obviously music still going. They put music on in between the sets. But yeah, I was just so looking forward to that. And then the sausage baps and chips came out. Epic. So I was there in like my second dress, like trying not to get ketchup on it. Yeah, so that's how it worked. And then basically, obviously at the end of the night, we were like last men standing, weren't we? So at midnight, we then went back up to the room. Well, I went up first. I don't know where you went. And then you came up and was like head in the sink, nearly being sick.
Thought I came up with you.
No, babe, I came up alone because I had to relieve the wedding nanny. You were still downstairs, and I was like, right, I'm taking some cake upstairs. And I took her some cake as well. Anyway, then I relieved the wedding nanny. She then went home, and that was it. So it worked really well. Highly recommend a wedding nanny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we did say, didn't we, that maybe we would have got the wedding nanny maybe slightly earlier in the day, but having said that...
Only like an hour or so earlier, maybe.
We were just having food, and she was epic in that high chair anyway. It worked really well. We were very lucky because kids are obviously unpredictable. Could have gone completely the other way, could have gone pear-shaped. And literally a week after the wedding, she was really quite ill.
Yeah.
With a sickness bug, so couldn't be more grateful that wasn't, obviously.
Not even a week, couple of days.
It's mad, isn't it? Talking about the band, someone has asked, what band did you use and how did you find them? So I did actually put up on Instagram when we were looking ages ago, and there were loads of recommendations. So I just obviously looked on all the Instagram profiles, and I just really liked the look of our one. So it's Charisma Function Band, and Charisma is spelled with a K and has a Z in it. Yeah, so if you're like around the Sussex area, they do travel because they're not near us in Chichester. They travelled to us. don't know where they're based though, but anyway, they're bloody fabulous, and you can choose like a 4-piece, 5-piece, 6-piece band, etc. Best decision ever. Oh, someone has asked what food did we have at our wedding. This was like the cherry on the cake for me. I knew that the venue did amazing food because we'd eaten there a couple of times, so I wasn't really like necessarily worried about the food because I knew it was going to be great. But when they sent me the menu that we could choose from, Christmas bloody dinner was on it as an option. We didn't even go to a wedding tasting, did we? Because I was like,
No.
We would have had to pay for that extra. And to be honest with you, I was like, I literally know exactly what we're having. We don't need to choose anything up in here. So the starter was a duck and orange pate.
Did I have that?
Yeah, you did, babe.
Did I? Not have soup?
There wasn't a soup
Was
option.
there?
No.
Oh, I can't remember.
Turkey Christmas dinner. It was epic. Although I feel like I was so trying to just take everything in, I don't even think I finished it. And then the dessert was a white chocolate and raspberry cheesecake. Delish. And we had wine, we had Prosecco, and then there was tea and coffee at the end as well, but I didn't have any of that. And also the second drinks reception, we had a couple of cocktails, didn't we? So one was Aperol Spritz.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it
That
was
was
so
really
good. That's where the sax was playing as well. So it was in like a little lounge area whilst they were clearing all the tables after the food. It was one of my favourite bits actually.
So everyone could just wind down,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
it was like
They
a
could
wind
just
down.
Relax and just chill out.
It was chill, but it was also, I don't know, it was just like jazzy. There were two cocktails. There was an Aperol Spritz, which is like my drink. I love an Aperol Spritz. However, they also had something called a Tipsy Mermaid, and that just topped it for me. That was the best cocktail I think I've ever had.
That was my cocktail.
You didn't even pick it. I picked both of them.
I picked it.
You did not.
Right, the cocktails were on the table, and it had Ian's cocktail next to the Tipsy Mermaid,
I put that
and
there.
Chelsea's cocktail next to the orange one. So, and mine went. All of mine went.
But what I'm saying is you didn't physically choose it. I just put a sign there that said Ian's cocktail to make it look cute.
I did. I really
It's so annoying. And also, during that hour, we went outside and did sparklers,
Yes.
which was cute. Bloody freezing, but cute.
What was your first thoughts of your husband?
What, as I saw you down the aisle?
Yes.
Oh, I get to marry that. To be completely honest, I'd already seen you in your suit. So I knew that you were going to look handsome as hell. But I knew what you were going to look like. So it wasn't like, because I wasn't shocked. But you were fine AF.
I'll take it.
What did you think?
Of me and my suit?
No, of me. Of your bride.
Taken aback.
Taken aback. I thought you said take her back then.
I almost did. No, beautiful.
Take her back, I don't want to.
Beautiful. I didn't know, I never really thought about what your wedding dress is going to look like.
Did you not?
And, well, no, we had this, you asked me a couple of months
Yeah,
before
I
it,
did.
and I kind of said it'll be something that's tight-fitting, but that's really all that I said. I couldn't imagine, like, the style or anything like that.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be classy.
Mm.
I think it was when you had the sleeves.
Yeah,
I think
the
that's
sleeves
what made it as well.
Yeah, I'm so pleased I had the sleeves. Made me feel like a prinny. Right, let's just do one more because this is getting long and silly now. Is there anything you would change about your wedding day? Honestly.
No.
Really?
Because I know I keep saying it, but I really didn't care.
Yeah, but that's what makes me... Because you said this whole time you'd just get married in a registry office.
Yeah.
So do you still feel that way? Or are you glad we did it the way we did it? Ooh, good question.
No, because I really liked the venue that we actually got married in.
Yeah. And it was so nice to be surrounded by all our loved ones.
Yeah, and yeah, so no, I actually wouldn't change anything. We wanted it small. We wanted it intimate.
Yeah.
We didn't want anything big, brash, out there. And we did what we wanted, and you did a great job.
Thank you. Thank you very much, husband. I'm really trying to think and like be completely like transparent and honest. but I genuinely had the perfect day. I really don't think I would have done anything differently. The only thing, if I'm like really nitpicking, is...
Take more cake.
Oh my god, yeah! Right, no, that's not even our fault. Let's talk about the cake. Guys, the next day, there was so much cake left over. Like I said, we were the last men standing. I took cake up to our room for us to have and to give some to the wedding nanny. There was loads of cake left. The next day, when I went to go and pick it up from the venue, this is the only thing that annoyed me about the venue. They said that there wasn't any left.
Someone robbed it.
Someone robbed our cake, or they binned it. Do you know how expensive wedding cakes are? I was absolutely fuming. I wanted to freeze that and then get some out every now and then and enjoy it for the next year. That's what people do. That's what people do.
It would have been gone within a couple of weeks.
So the only thing is, yeah, but that's not really something that would change. That's just something that was unfortunate.
Go on then, what was it?
No, not necessarily would have changed it, but the only thing is I think that, like, there wasn't anything wild or mega unique or out there. And there's a tiny part of me that thinks, I wish I thought of something a little bit crazy.
Like what?
I don't know. This is the thing, I actually don't know.
Yep.
I know. But it was actually quite traditional. Neither of us are sheep.
Well, that means every wedding's like a sheep wedding.
Exactly.
They're all the same.
Well, exactly. No, but some are different.
Like what?
Well, I don't know. Some people have like Gothic weddings or a wedding at Thorpe Park or not that I want either of those things. No, okay. I know I'm talking out my arse now, but what I'm saying is I am the type of personality that's like a bit weird and wacky sometimes, or a bit quirky. There was nothing quirky about the wedding.
There's nothing quirky, no, but maybe because you thought that I wouldn't like that.
Maybe. There's nothing that I would like change or do different that I did. But part of me is like, should I have thought of something a little bit quirky? Right, I feel like this has been about a 2-hour vlog. I hope that answered some of your questions. We couldn't have fit in any more. And...
Go and get married.
Go and get wed. I feel like we need to stop going on about it now. And I will. I feel like I'm there. Other than when the photos and videos come through.
You do? You never talk about it now?
Do you not think? I just feel like I've like spoken about it so much on socials. People are like, fucking shut up, son. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed, please, feel free.
Subscribe.
Thank you for your input there, husband. Massive thank you to our wonderful and gorgeous sponsors, Cover My Bubble. Guys, now is the time. If you haven't ever looked into life insurance, please go and look into it. You don't have to have children, you don't have to have a mortgage. There are multiple reasons why you might look into getting life insurance or critical illness cover, maybe even like income protection cover and all that kind of stuff as well. They do so much, they cover so much. They will only give you honest guidance and they can work to your budget too. So go and give them a call or just give them a little follow on the old socials. Should we watch the film?
You're not wanting to watch Love Island?
Oh, okay, what's the time? Love Island's on in 15 minutes. Love you, bye.
Bye-bye.